So that's all the same that we learned before. Then he does this little slide thing, which is really cool. And listening to the recording, this is how I hear it. He goes to a D, and he's just using the first two fingers of the D, partial, like a F-shaped D chord. So he's got his first finger on the 10th fret, first and second strings, second finger on the 11th fret of the third string. So it's, and it sounds like a down pick with the thumb, and then up quick. I do it like that. So down pick with the thumb, downstroke, and then a quick upstroke with the index finger. You could also roll it a little bit. Play it however you want. I play it kind of choppy. Then he just moves it, boom, boom, down two to a C. So now we're on the 8th fret, first finger on the 8th fret, same chord shape. And then he does this figure that he does throughout the song, where he makes a D shape. So take a D chord that you normally play up here at the 2nd and 3rd frets and bring it on down to the 7th and 8th frets. And the bass for that is an open D string, which we'll use later. So it's like, and there it sounds like he goes, where I'm picking the 3rd string with my thumb, and then come up with my index finger, and then back with my thumb. And then choking it off by letting up on the strings or dampening with my right hand. So like this. And you can play any rhythmic pattern with that. You'll hear Gary Davis does it differently every time he plays it. Then we do a T chord, what I call a T. And I've got my first finger on the 3rd fret, 5th string, second finger on the 1st string, 5th fret. So 3rd string, 1st string. And then I use my ring finger on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. So we get this. And the bass is still that open. So he does this. And then very quickly, he gets the G, that partial F chord shape. So the whole sequence there, let's do the whole second verse of the song. And then he does this bass roll, which I really like. I do this all with my thumb pick. So I'm hitting that, just hitting that G chord real fast. Then open 4th string, and then rolling in on the 1st, 2nd strings of the 4th string. And then doing the same thing on the 5th string. And then the same thing on the 6th string, but going to the 2nd and 3rd frets. So the whole lick. And then he goes here, he walks back to the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and then hits it open to lead into the next part, which is an E7 chord. So that lick, kind of cool. And then he gets into an E7. This is where he starts playing kind of a ragtime thing. And on one version of the song, he talks about it sounding like a piano. If you like Gary Davis' stuff, he's always babbling in between verses and saying, like, oh, piano. Let me play this part for you. So from that last lick. All right, a lot of chords here. A lot of chords, and then there's some pretty cool single string runs as well. The chords, when he goes here, he's going to an E7th. And he's just playing, I'm playing the 2-finger version of the E7th, which is easier when you're playing country blues because it frees up your other fingers to do things. So your first finger, just an E chord on the first fret of the third string. I've got my second finger barring both the fifth and fourth and fifth strings at the second fret. And then my pinky is on the seventh, which is the third fret of the second string. My alternating bass is strictly a 6/4. And I'm just picking while I'm playing that. And you can throw in some things. You could kind of hammer on that part, so hammer onto it. Or you could just play it straight up. Gary Davis does a lot of different stuff. And then as he picks, he makes it real choppy by adjusting his pressure of his fingers up here or down here on the neck, and then also muting a little bit. So he's not playing, he's more of a choppy thing. Again. Then he goes to an A7. So just make your normal A7th chord, and your alternating bass now becomes the 5 and the 4, which I'm muting with my right hand palm. And then I'm using my first, second, and third fingers and bouncing them back and forth as I play the A7th between the third fret and the second fret of the first string. And I'm picking both the first and second string. So that whole sequence. That's not too hard. And then he goes to a D. D7. So that's your first finger on the second string, first fret, second finger on the third string, second fret, ring finger on the first fret, or the second fret of the first string. And then the bass is going to be your 5 and your 4, open. So then you're taking your ring finger and taking it up and down on the second fret of the first string. So that whole part again. Let's do it again. He stops right there on the downstroke on the bass. So that part, remember that, because you'll use that again a couple more times in the song. Then he does this single string run, which I'm just going to break down for you. And then back into the 7th. What he's doing is, this isn't exact. This is how I play it. It's pretty darn close to what he does. And you can figure this out if you listen to it. But I just go from the third, second, open on the first string. Same thing on the second string. So the whole thing. Then the same thing on the third string. 3, 2, open. So again. Same thing on the 4th string. And then he goes to the 2nd fret of the 5th string, open 4th string, and then open to lead back into the E7th. So let's do that again.